Good day, folks. Welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. On this video, we're going to be driving through the town of Kouts, Indiana, which is located in the northwest Indiana region. Now, Kouts is located 31 miles south of Michigan City and 13 miles south of Valparaiso, Indiana, which again, that video will be coming up. In fact, I'm going to try to work on it and get it uploaded tomorrow. So the population here in Kouts is going to be 2,028 people, up from 1,879 people. As of the 2020 census, the population has grown by 7.9%. Now, back when the population was 1,879 people, the population at that point grew by 10.7%. So this is a growing community. And I'm gonna give you guys a little bit of history about this town. Now, much of the history about this town, as you guys will learn in a second, revolves around the railroad era of Indiana. So, the town was named after Bernard Kouts. Now, his last name was spelled K-A-U-T-Z. A little different from the spelling of the actual town, which is K-O-U-T-S. So anyhow, the town was named after Bernard Kouts, who moved here in the, I want to say he moved here in the 1860s from Pennsylvania and built a farm. So this town that you guys are looking at right now, apparently this is where his farm used to be back when he first came here from Pennsylvania. In 1865, Kouts and his brother-in-law, H.A. Wright, developed the town when the Chicago and St. Louis Railway arrived and built a store, Kouts Station. So Kouts Station apparently was the one and only and first store in town. With the intersecting of the Chicago and Erie Railroad, the growth of Kouts increased. Kouts turned into the social and economic center of Porter County. Kouts stayed an important railroad town during the first half of the 20th century, served by the Erie Lackawanna Railway and the Pennsylvania Railroad, until the bankruptcy of the Pennsylvania Railroad successor, Penn Central, and the creation of Conrail Rail Corporation. Lackawanna Railway ended up becoming part of the Conrail. Ended up becoming a part of the Conrail in 1976. At this time, there were a sharp decline in traffic and profitability due to the Staggers Rail Act of 1980. The U.S. Railway was able to abandon unprofitable lines. So that's just a short, brief history of the early economy of this town. Now, as far as it goes for the crime here. Now, violent crime is very low. Violent crime is lower than half the national average. So violent crime here is very low. Now, property crime, they do got some. Property crime is double the national average. Now, as far as it goes for your racial demographics, you got 96.1% white, 3.2% Hispanic, and all the other ethnicities are under 1%. If you're looking to live here, your median rent prices are going to go from $690 to $1390 a month. Your median home price is going to be at $260,000 at $260,000. And now, let's see here. Now we're going to see what other people think about this town. Now, before I go there, well, no, we're going to, you know what? We're going to look up something real quick. So let me look up something real quick. All right, folks. Sorry about that. I just had to look something up real quick because it's going to go into my personal opinion about this town. Now, for those of you that are looking to live in Northwest Indiana, and you're looking to live in a smaller town atmosphere, this town could be a good town for you. Now, I would say the only negative part about living here is the fact that you're not located in a region of Indiana where the economy is going to be the best. Now, for those of you that are familiar with Indiana, the two parts of Indiana that are going to have the strongest economy is either going to be towards northeast Indiana, or it's going to be in central Indiana. Now, I think, and I discussed this before, but I'm going to discuss it briefly for the purpose of this video real quick. Now, the economy in southern Indiana, slash greater Louisville, that would be southern Indiana. The economy is okay. Now, I would say the economy in southwest Indiana, the greater Evansville area, I would say that economy is not going to be the best, simply because Evansville is not that big of a city. The Evansville metro is not that big of a metro. And I would say when it comes to like I said, mid-Indiana, their economy is fairly solid. I would say the economy in northeast Indiana is fairly solid because Indianapolis and Fort Wayne are fairly solid cities when it comes to their economies. Now, I would say when it comes to north Indiana, parts of North Indiana is within an hour of Fort Wayne. So I would say if you move to North Indiana, you should be all right when it comes to employment opportunities. Now, when it comes to Northwest Indiana, I mean, if you live within an hour of Chicago, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know a whole lot about the economy in Chicago. I mean, I've heard, now some people say that it's easy to find work in Chicago. Other people say that the economy in Chicago is not the greatest. But I would say if you're going to live in Northwest Indiana and you're a 9-to-5 worker and you don't have any connections to where you're going to be moving to when it comes to employment opportunities, I would say economically speaking, you would do better in the part of Northwest Indiana to where you're no farther than an hour from Chicago, or at the very least you're within an hour of the West Lafayette area, metro. Now, as far as it goes for Kouts, Indiana, I mean, I'm not going to tell you that the economy here is terrible and there's no jobs in this region of Northwest Indiana, but I will say that I would say personally one of the negative aspects of living in this town is the fact that the biggest city, which is the closest to here, which is going to be close to an hour from here, is going to be South Bend. Now, South Bend's economy, now during this whole during the whole pandemic madness, South Bend probably had an okay economy. But I would say, for the most part, the economy in South Bend is not the strongest economy in Indiana. It's not even the best economy in the United States. But that's going to be the closest, biggest city, is South Bend. Now, of course, like I told you, you're not far from Michigan City, but Michigan City doesn't really hold its own water when it comes to the economy. And as far as it goes with Valparaiso, I mean, they're not, again, they have a little bit of an economy there, but it's not gonna, I don't think it's gonna be enough to really make much of a difference for many people. Unless, of course, I mean, I don't know. I mean, once I do my research on Valparaiso, I'll know a little more. But just off the top of my head, Valparaiso, I mean, they're not, I mean, Valparaiso is not that big of a city. It's not no major metro area or nothing like that. So I say all this to say that if you move here, just understand you're not going to be moving to the best part of Indiana economically speaking. There's most likely not going to be as many jobs in this region of Northwest Indiana as there will be if you move somewhere a little closer into Chicago, or you move a little closer into Lafayette, West Lafayette area, or you move a little further east to where you're within an hour of Fort Wayne. So I would say that would be my only negative comment about Kouts, Indiana. That would be my only negative comment. Other than that, again, if you got the money and you're looking for a small town atmosphere, this could be a good place for you. Now we're going to go to Niche and see what other people got to say. Okay, 9 reviews. I'm not reading all 9 though. Now, out of 9 reviews, Kouts scored a 3.5 star out of 5-star rating. So we're gonna start with 5 stars like I typically do. Okay, this is from April of 2019. Kouts is a small town full of welcoming people. It's a great place to live, and we look forward to raising our children here someday. Now we're dropping down to 4 stars. This is from 2008, February of 2018. It is a small town with affordable housing. The school is very involved with the students and the community. The town has seasonal events that bring the community and visitors together. There is a nice town park and Newark Park available for everyone to use, along with soccer, softball, and baseball fields. The town is small, quaint, and clean, and presents a small town charm. It is a close commute to bigger towns for shopping and dining. It isn't too far from major highways to travel to Chicago or Indianapolis. There is a medical clinic in town that has caring nurses and doctors for everyone's medical needs. Okay, now we're going to go down to average. Okay, 3 stars. This is from November 2017. Knott's is a very nice farming community. It is not the place to go out to eat or go somewhere to spend time with the family. Okay, here's another 3 star from June 2017. I lived in Knott's for 18 years or so. It's not diverse. It's hard to fit in if you don't go to church or have ties to the farm community. The town is very small and white. I love the town to become more diverse one day. There's a troubling amount of racist and homophobic people. There's not much to do and no nightlife aside from the one bar. That being said, our small town is safe. Everyone knows everybody and is ready to help each other out. Our public schools will have you ready to write a college paper. If you like church, there's one on every corner. Have a bite at one of 3 restaurants. If you find yourself in need of food or recreation, head north to Valparaiso. That's what the rest of us do. Okay, now we're going to Pour. This is a 2 star. This is from February of 2020. Quiet town, but everyone is in everyone's business. Nothing to do in town. Very boring unless you like to gossip. Alright folks, that's going to be all for my commentary. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. The commentary wasn't as interesting as I would have hoped, but it is what it is. I can only work with what's available to me. So, again, I hope you guys got something out of the commentary. And like I said, I don't think this is a bad place to live. And like I said, my only complaint is, it's not really a complaint. It's more or less of a concern for those of you that are wanting to move out this way and you work a 9-to-5 job like I do. My only thing is, if you come out here, try to have a job already lined up that's within reasonable driving distance from here. Or try to have something where you work online, you work remotely. Because like I said, this part of Indiana is not going to be the best economy that Indiana has to offer. But other than that, I have no other complaints. And before I start repeating myself too much, I'm going to go ahead and end it right here. Go ahead. There's like 8 more minutes of the video left. So go ahead, watch it, finish it. I think you'll enjoy it. And on that note, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. you